And here we are. Yes, 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 we are live. This is Myki Angeline here, your host for the Women's International Music Network. And this is our podcast series live front and center. And yes, this will be an interview, but I have to forewarn everybody, it's going to be girl talk. Why? Because we have my Canadian sisters, the women family members, Sarah and Charlotte, Charlotte and Sarah, Command Sisters.
What's up?
All the way from Canada.
Represent.
Okay, so you're in two different parts of it though, right? Who's where?
Okay, can you guess? You probably can't guess from
No.
backgrounds. You can't
No.
do it at all. I could be in any province. And
I'm in Narnia.
What?
I said I'm in Narnia. I feel like that's in Canada, right? Because it's really cold.
You're right. You're right. That's true. Okay. Do we believe Sarah though? Do we really believe her?
No, okay. This joke is old. I'm in Alberta, so I'm on the West Coast, and then Charlotte's on the East Coast in Toronto.
Okay, so how far away is that from? I'm so bad with geography.
No, that's okay. It's pretty far. Like Toronto is by like Chicago. And then Alberta is right above
Montana,
I think.
Oh, so like if you were to drive to each other or to one to the other, how long would that take?
Like 40 hours. It's very far. It's like basically the opposite coast of Canada.
Hold on, 40?
Yeah, it's a long drive. It's like it's basically like you're kind of going across Canada, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Toronto's first south. So yeah,
I guess so. You did say Montana.
Yeah, we're quite
far. Chicago. So that's near West Coast. That's central to wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, do you two miss each other?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Yes, we do. We definitely do. Absolutely. It's hard. It's been interesting kind of navigating music and being creative and writing and doing different things. But and just like hanging out, obviously, we miss that. But we do FaceTime a lot. And we're on different little adventures right now, I suppose.
It's hard with COVID, right? A lot of musicians are in like the same boat. Like there's the economical aspect of COVID where a lot of people have, specifically in the entertainment industry, have lost like the majority of their income. So you kind of have to, like adapt kind of day to day. But we still occasionally do see each other safely, tested and to do things, but very, very much on occasion. So that's really sucked because we went from, living with each other in the same room and filming every day for 5 years straight to like across the country. So yeah, it's hard.
That had to be hard. I mean, for those who don't, because so many know you, but those who don't, I met you interviewing you at the red carpet at the She-Rock Awards in 2016. And seen you ever since then. And, we've all become a part of the WiMN family. And so everything I ever see you post, you're always together. And then when you post your flashbacks, because you two have been singing and performing and playing since the womb, like since you could walk, and you'll throw these the cutest flashback videos and photos. So it's almost like your twins joined at the hip almost. But even though it's been hard to be a part that you've had to have been a part, what have you learned about yourself individually from that separation?
Yeah, I feel like with COVID, like has made me learn a lot about myself in a lot of different ways, like being isolated and not having your regular busy schedule. I think a lot of people listening can probably relate that when you were at home sitting with your thoughts, there were a lot of things that came up, a lot of emotions, a lot of things you learned about yourself, maybe things that you'd change, maybe things that you're proud of that you were hard on yourself before. Being slow with yourself and being okay with, not always being okay. I think a lot of those emotions came out off and on throughout the pandemic. And now that 2021 is here, and I'd like to hear Charlotte's thoughts as well on this, I feel like I'm finally coming into my own a little bit. Like I realize, it's okay to not be on the ball all the time. We're all facing this really uncertain time, but I'm also kind of learning to stand on my own feet a little bit more. In a lot of different ways, which has been exciting, but I think everybody, is going to do that at the right time that it feels comfortable to, like, especially during a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellently said. I definitely relate to that for sure. I feel like I've realized, yeah, some things that, you know, maybe I need to work on, or like different areas that I feel like the busy schedule before might have masked those things. You know, we're all so distracted and busy and going about our day, and we don't always realize certain things that are happening in our lives, or certain things that we need to learn or address. And so, yeah, definitely. And then I feel like I also realized how antisocial I am.
Are you? Well, okay. Yeah.
I'm not really antisocial, but yet during this pandemic,
But you are an introvert, yeah?
I am an introvert, even though I get along with people well. I feel like it's just like the pandemic's made me a bit of a hermit, and I really have not socialized much.
How about you, Sarah? Did you?
Oh, that was one of the things I learned probably the most, or not the most. It was one of the bigger ones. Is like I thrive off of social interaction, and I think like sometimes people joke about that in a light way, but like socializing with people can really help a lot of people with mental health. It can help them just with like functioning day-to-day life. Like if you suffer with anxiety or different mental health. For me personally, I get a lot out of social interaction. And so for me, I went through a lot of ups and downs during the pandemic with my anxiety, realizing how much that helped me cope. But then with that, I realized, okay, what are some other ways I can work on myself so that I am less of an anxious person and I don't need that extreme social aspect to distract from my anxiety. So that in a way was a helpful way of learning. Even though I still love socializing, and I bug the crap out of my boyfriend because I'm always wanting his attention because he's the only person I really see.
Because you're all booed up now. What? That's another one.
I used to be like the Tinder. People joked about it all the time because I post all of my Tinder adventures. Yeah. So
okay.
No Tinder anymore.
Well, no, of course not. Of course not.
You made it.
So then, okay, you ladies put out a barrage of music last year too. Was that written pre-COVID, or was that inspired by COVID, or was it sort of a mix?
I would say it was all actually written pre-COVID.
Okay.
We had also recorded it pre-COVID. We went down to LA in 2019, and we worked with Tim Pagnotta, an incredible producer who worked with, Blink-182 and Walk the Moon, and a lot of like alternative bands that are really cool. And we spent like a couple weeks hardcore recording with him. And so it's kind of weird when it was inspired by different times. The music I'm writing now is definitely different. So
our latest release actually called Rain on My Parade, that was released in 2021, was inspired by COVID and a lot of the emotions we were personally dealing with. And that had a very different tone. And
yes,
I would see
really
a lot
did.
of musicians or artists or writers are probably doing the same thing because, it's not the same that it used to be. And I think that influences your art for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. So I forgot about that song. Yeah, that one, it definitely feels different than the older stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I love it, but I love everything you all do. I do. And I'm not even being biased. You're so dang talented. So we do have a hello from Michael out in Virginia.
Hey,
and we have a hello from Josie out in
hi.
AB,
Thanks,
Spruce
guys.
Grove AB.
Thank you for joining.
First class passenger. Discovered you on the Women's International Music Network Twitter.
Wow.
Gotta love it.
That's
So
cool.
And thank you for having such great music, because as you know, I kind of like quasi borrowed a little bit of your song. I like it because Imana, she did a fantastic guitar riff to your song, and it was right around the time that I got my equipment, because yes, I am endorsed by MXL microphones, and they have this amazing VPS bundle for video podcasting. And so I made my little video with your song as I was unraveling my
Oh, so
thank
cool.
you.
So thank you for being sisters and having great music to
Aw.
open up wonderful gifts to yourselves too.
Well, thank you for being so awesome and for being you as well.
Aww.
Not point
We
that out.
always said Myki was our third sister.
I miss you so much.
You are the third sister.
Am I? Oh
You
my gosh.
are. It's legit. We've confirmed this. We've absolutely
So
confirmed.
now I have to get a shirt. You have merch yet, don't you?
We do have merch. We just started putting out some merch. So
okay, here, let's share all your, and isn't just your website, is it commandsisters.com? Did I have that right?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, so everyone go there because they've got great stuff. I know I've been waiting forever for you to get merch because I want to buy like all of it and just wear all of it. And then I can do a little bedazzling and put third.
Ooh, yes. Yes.
Which I think is great because 3 is my favorite number.
Oh, that's
so that works for me.
There you go. That's even better.
That works.
We'll have to make you a third Command Sister shirt, like specially made just for you, though. Like I think that's the next step.
Oh, I love it. See, now I have to give you a Bitchcraft shirt. I'm in 2 bands now. Did I tell you that? I know we're going off the rails here, and I already warned you in the beginning we do this because I'm sending you my Bitchcraft shirts. That's the first band I played in, and then I played in the White Suits, which was this last November, and I played guitar. But you know what's really cool about all of that is that in both bands, we ended up playing the same song. Like, okay, so what it is, it's called Ladies Rock Camp. And us older women that want to rock out in bands, we get in a camp and we learn how to play other people's songs. So as a band, we name our band and then we find the songs we want to play. And it turns out that both bands and this was one of these bands. I gotta hold on. I'm trying to find my plug. I did them 3 years apart because the first band I performed in was 2017 and this last one was 2020. And we still did Bikini Kill song Rebel Girl.
Oh, okay.
But the first time I played it as drums and this last time I played the guitar.
Oh.
So I'm like the Dave Grohl of Sacramento because I was like in 2 different bands. Even though I played the same song, I played 2 different instruments. I'm kind of
a couple different things.
I'm kind of feeling myself right now.
No, I love it. You should. Oh my God. Like,
well, we didn't get shirts though for White Suits, but we did get shirts for how can you not have a shirt for Bitchcraft?
I know.
Honestly, I can never get enough band t-shirts, so I definitely need this in my life.
I will rep it I will wear it everywhere I go. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I will rep it like in every way possible.
Oh my gosh, I totally am sending you shirts now. I will totally get them because I have to get them for Laura and Bonnie too because I realized I hadn't hit them up and asked them what their sizes were. Oh, thank you, Michael. You're so sweet. Thank you for that. He said congratulations to me. To me. But you know, and I give you credit for those of you creating because you create really incredible music. In fact, I'm still waiting for you to put that one in full that I love. Remember, you created a little spiff like in 2016?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
still waiting for the full song. I will wait to my grave.
It's crazy. Like when you put out content on the internet, like you never know what's going to respond. And like that song was one of the songs still to this day. We know people that like bring it up and talk about it. And I've been like pushing for someone else's dream to get recorded so hard for so many years. And I'm waiting for that day to happen because it's definitely like a little bit more in the pop side from what we like the lane that we've been going down. And I find each song tends to get a little bit less pop. But I'm waiting until the day we could do like a full-blown pop album and just like bring out all the bright colors and like rock out with a guitar. I'm waiting for it.
It's absolutely going to happen. It's going to happen. Like we have not forgotten about that one, and
I don't care what anybody says. I want to be able to
It's gonna be out there.
So let's touch on another subject we agreed we wanted to talk about because this is so important, especially for women and for you, Sarah, because you've talked very openly about, you know, bullyism. You've spearheaded campaigns to fight that and to overcome that. Mental health, right? Since COVID, mental health in the music industry as a woman in general is huge because to this day, women are still clamoring to be. I mean, I don't know if you caught the Academy Awards. Or was it a week ago, the Grammys?
Yes,
It was all women. It was like they were really trying to make up for a loss for all the years of not doing anything with women. I mean, the country I mean, because Laura and I were texting back and forth about it. The country category itself, it was all women that were even nominated. So no matter who won, it was a woman.
Wow.
Right? All the top tiers were women that won.
Okay.
But prior to that, you ask people if you list your top 5 songs, how many of them either are sung by a woman, written by a woman? It won't be an all-woman band, let's be honest. It won't be. And produced it, did anything on it. It would be probably 0 for if we asked the first 10 people we pulled up that that weren't women. Yeah. And I mean, ask guys.
Yeah.
And so
that's true.
I remember, like, I'll never forget this one particular award show we were at. It was mostly like an award show for songwriters and accomplished songwriters. It was mostly people that have had like big hits, and it was like a smaller audience but very connected audience. And I remember sitting in the audience and kind of analyzing the people that won, because it was all database. It wasn't like people deciding who was the best at that. It was the most sales, the most radio spin. So it had nothing to do with who thought was the best, or like popularity. And what I noticed, most of the people that came up, almost all the people that came up, had a story about, meeting a guy in the basement, and they became long, fast friends, and they, drank together, hung out together, and their friendship that they got along so well was how they ended up having this great partnership. And it honestly, almost all of the people that got awarded kind of had this similar story. And it kind of made me think about the struggles that, maybe there was less women in those songwriting circles, was because, number one, how often it is as a woman, you're going to get invited to hang out with 5 dudes in a basement at 2 a.m. And if that is the case, they're usually probably hitting on you. And absolutely nothing to do wrong with guys. It's just the way that things have been for so long. And it made me think about, unless there are institutions, like you see organizations like the Grammys really, really making an effort to give women an opportunity, because unfortunately a lot of culture isn't going to change overnight. And to me, that's really exciting.
I agree. It is going to be it's a progress, right? It's steps, and it's steps in the right direction matter. And the more platforms there are like this one, like the Women's International Music Network, that embody, embrace, emulate women, the more people will know. A lot of people, they literally do not know what, if it isn't already fed to them in their newsfeed, doesn't come at them through their car radio, through their TV, they won't actively seek it out. They're just not going to know.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
So in subject of mental health, getting back to that, did you hit, I mean, if you want to talk about it, did you hit bouts of like sadness or depression when COVID, the first like 2 or 3 months that it hit, as musicians, as having to be a part, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah, for me, actually, it wasn't necessarily the worst. Like it got worse after, because I feel like I was just in shock, and I was like, oh, and everybody thought things would return to normal in 2 weeks. So it was definitely like, took a while to sink in. And luckily last year when it was hitting, like summer was coming. So, I was able to go outside and sort of, it was worse like at the end of last year, actually, because it was starting to sink in and winter was coming. And then, it was getting darker and colder. And then you had time to process it more, at least for me, like, okay, we can't tour, we can't really promote our music. It's really hard to promote your music right now, unless you kind of blow up on TikTok. So for me, it was definitely harder. Definitely.
I feel like, same with Cheryl, it's been like a 2021 or end of 2020/2021 has been significantly harder than like the beginning, because it's like that realization that like, okay, this is life now, we have to talk to this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know, I feel you. It's definitely been worse this year, I feel like, for me.
As a musician and as a human being, right? Because we don't know how much longer this will be.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like it's, and I don't
want to kind of settled into it. Like you said, the first couple of months this happened, I don't think anyone thought it was going to last this long, right?
No. We kept hearing, at least on the Canadian television, like, oh, a couple weeks, things will be back to normal. Of course, that never happened, right? But that's what everybody thought. So it was sort of just like, oh, we get to stay in our houses and watch TV. Look at this, you know, it's going to be over soon. This is a little vacation. I feel like a lot of people felt that way. And so, yeah.
Well, there were people here because I'm on the West Coast in United States, California. I'm the Northern California part, and I was driving for Lyft, and I was driving in the Bay Area, where San Francisco is, and that's about a 2-hour one-way drive for me. But that's where the money is, right? And at the time that hit, San Francisco declared a state of emergency 4 days before all of California did, because they just knew. And San Francisco is the city in California, even more so than LA, believe it or not. They have the most traffic when it comes to tourism, and more diverse, and the most traffic when it comes to business, because conferences happen every day in the Bay.
Really?
That airport is insane. And you're making a grip. I can make $500 in a day driving.
Wow, that's insane.
Because of the rates, because of the bonuses, they tip you out. Because a lot of these people, if it's business, they write it all off, so they don't care. If they're tourism, they factor all the spending into the vacation, right? They'll spend more than they normally would. When that hit, girls, I felt like I was living the movie Legend, I Am Legend, with Will Smith, because everything dropped. Like, all of a sudden it got quieter. All the main conferences canceled out. The airports, I didn't even want to go to the airport because we didn't know. The first case hit Washington State here in the States before it hit the Bay. And I remember, and then I was like, okay, just tough it out or whatever. I remember finally getting the guts up to drive in the city or at the airport, and I would pick up people, and there was only like 17 people on the whole flight. I would go to Trader Joe's, is these local stores that I would go to use the bathroom breaks as a driver and eat. Yeah. Girls, I went into the Trader Joe's, and I couldn't get over how there was massive amounts of people, but there was almost nothing on the shelves. They cleared out all the flour, all the potatoes, all the rice. It was like people were trying to bunker down.
People were hoarding. Was the toilet paper all gone like us?
Well, they don't really do toilet paper at the Trader Joe's, but yes. I mean, because it's more like a farmer's market kind of a store.
Oh, okay. But yeah.
And because I would go to those I could park for free, because you pay everywhere in San Francisco to park, and the bathrooms are clean, and the food, they had vegan options. I'm vegan. And I remember feeling, but you felt the tenseness. You felt fear. You felt worry. And no one was fighting, but everyone had, all of a sudden you can just feel everyone's on a mission. And I thought, and that's when I made the decision. I said, I can't be here, because if, God forbid, we hit martial law, I'm stuck over the bridge. I can't get to my daughter. I can't get back home. And here's the kicker. In the news, I don't know if you heard this in Canada, but there was a boat full of people on a Carnival cruise that were floating out in the Bay because people had COVID, and they docked them in Oakland, which is right next to it. And I drove by that cruise ship, and people were on that thing for days to weeks before everyone got off. And I just remember, I know. And I just was thinking, that's when it hit me. I thought, oh my God, this could last for a long time. Before, when I thought, okay, it might not, because who's ever lived? I've never lived through a pandemic. So, but once I was in it and I was feeling that emptiness, I thought, this could be I Am Legend. This could be martial law. Okay, we need to get our basics. And the toilet paper thing, it was gone like
it was a thing here. It was a thing here too. Absolutely. It was insane. Like,
I know, like, it was very, when we were talking about like the first week of the pandemic, when like nobody knew, I know in Canada the government was telling, I won't go too much into politics, but I remember the government was saying in Canada that like masks don't really work, don't buy masks. But that was when there was a low supply of masks for the healthcare workers. So I understand why they would say that.
Yeah.
We had masks because Charlotte had bought some, I think after we visited China, we saw that people used it a lot for pollution. So like we had masks, and we were like,
when did you go? Whoa. Don't just trip over that like that ain't nothing. When did you go to China?
2014,
October.
That's amazing. I didn't even know. Like you, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we played at the Shanghai International Arts Festival, and it was really incredible.
Wow. Wait, so you had masks from 2014 from China, or because of China? Is that what
I know Charlotte had ordered them on Amazon or something?
I had them because we heard Sarah and I were always getting sick on flights. So like way back in the day. So we just like thought we'd try it out, and like, you know, and it's just common for people to wear masks there. Like
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, because of pollution and whatnot. So yeah, just we had some way back in the day, like pre-COVID, 6 years ago,
Smart.
right?
Smart. Yes.
And my dad who works in the oil industry had N95s because often like they'll use them for, I guess, if they're doing certain tasks and they need to breathe obviously clean air. And so at the beginning of the pandemic, like when everything shut down in Toronto, I remember we were wearing masks, and I was even running with a mask outside because I did a lot of running outside, and I'd wear a mask because I just wanted to be safe. Like I didn't know if it like traveled like long distances outside, like nobody knew any of the facts. And I remember like people looking at me like I was crazy for wearing a mask at the time, like they were giving me weird faces, and I was just like, I was so terrified. Like I'd wear gloves when I went outside and I'd take them off and inside out and like put them in the washer because I didn't want to like touch COVID. I don't know, I'm sure you guys remember like that first month or so was terrifying, like not knowing.
I mean, you don't know. When you don't know, you just take precautions. It goes either way. Either people are going to act like nothing's going on, or people are going to act like it's the end of the world. I kind of was, expecting the worst and hoping for the best. And I just was always careful because you could just never be too careful. There's nothing wrong with being careful.
No.
By the way, we didn't forget Michael, because Michael is suggesting that you do a pop-up live event because he'd love to see you ladies perform live. I agree.
Yes.
You two are incredible live because because She-Rock Awards, you've performed at least 3 times?
4?
Is it 4 times now? Well, I guess this last one 5 times?
2014. 2014 was our first. We were at the we skipped 2015, 2014, 16, 17, 18.
So 6. Okay.
19.
Because I'm working them all the time. I don't always get to see the show.
Right.
So, but you're right. So even this last one, which was all online. So yeah. And I'm telling you, you ladies kill it live. I love artists like yourselves who do so well in the studio when it comes to recording and mixing, but also just kill it live. I think that's the element that's always going to be the gold of any performer. Like Pink, she does well both ways, and she'll give you things to see, like swinging around on freaking ribbons, things that you wouldn't, things that you wouldn't get on a recording. Not that I'm saying you should spin on ribbons, girls. Please, please be careful.
I was gonna say though,
but just that thrill and that impact that you have and that connection.
They did everything, and they just put on a show.
Would you do a pop-up event?
Absolutely, I think we would.
We just did, it was actually really cool. We just did a show not that long ago with a company called Sessions.
Yes, you did. Talk about that.
Sessions is doing like this really cool like live stream platform. And if you're a musician listening or you're just a fan of music, you should totally check it out. What I really loved about Sessions is the tickets, I think they can be more money, but like our tickets were only $5. And so it's pretty accessible, but you're not, doing like free concerts all the time. So for musicians that aren't making money, it's a great opportunity. And then they had like a tipping feature. So actually quite a few people did tip on our live stream, which we were so thankful for. And that was so like great. A really cool thing. Yeah, really cool. But we want to do more. Like it was such bad timing, like just before COVID hit. We had worked with this awesome guy named Dan Canner. And Dan Canner, for those who don't know him, is the musical director for Justin Bieber, like the last 10 years. So Dan became really well known for being on the Bieber tours and making all of his, like he was a part of the Bieber movie and like all of this stuff. And Dan's most recent work is Julia Michaels. So he's a really, really cool guy. And he spent like 5 months with us, and we created this awesome show. And then we were like ready to hit the road, and then COVID hit. So
that's what happened.
Hoping that we can show that show eventually online and figure out a way to do that.
Wow. I had no idea you did. That's a lot of prep.
Yeah.
That must have just hit the heart so bad. Right?
I think it hit later. I think Charlotte was touching like the first couple months. We were just kind of like, oh, we can sleep in for once. This is great. And then like, I think like 6 to 12 months later, you're like, oh man, that sucked. Like,
yeah, no, definitely. Like it didn't register till later on. Or you're like, wow, we actually won't be able to tour for a long time.
Are you looking at possibly anytime this year, or are you shooting more for next year?
No, I think from what we've heard from the industry, I know some parts of the states are opening up. Canada is not the case. Like Toronto, I think, is the longest lockdown in all of North America. So yeah, I think like 2022 maybe would be, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, for Canada. I mean here, because like on the West Coast, well, here in Sacramento, we have what's called the Aftershock Festival, which is predominantly heavy metal and hard rock.
Oh, cool.
And they couldn't have it last year. It's always around October. They're shooting for October this year, but I don't know. It's an outdoor. It's going to be 4 days this year. Normally it's 3. Yeah. It's all outdoors. It's about 60,000 people smashed up, like closer than this. I don't know that that's going to happen. I would love for it to happen, but I don't know that it's going to happen.
Yeah, right.
It would be a shame if it couldn't, but at the same time, if you have to be safe, you have to be safe. Yeah. So,
well, a lot of America too, like your guys' vaccination process has been like a lot quicker than Canada. So you may see some festivals opening up in the States.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, because you're right. We're really on the ball with getting the vaccines out. I mean, there are people that are still kind of iffy if they want it, but it's there. They're doing the best that they can with the scheduling, putting priority people first with healthcare workers, immune compromised, elderly, and so hopefully we'll be able to hang out. They're trying to put the rules on, if you can wear masks or who you can be with once you're vaccinated. And I have friends that are doing it. And so they're being very cool with posting how they're doing with their shots, because it's the 2-shot process. Yeah. And the second one apparently puts you on your butt. So for like 2 or 3 days, you just feel like, but then once you're done, you're good. Like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's what has been happening over here, at least on the West Coast. I can't say for any other coast, but that's how it's been here on the West Coast. Our problem city has been LA, but that's because there's just so many more people in LA than any other city here in California.
Right.
Makes sense. And Disneyland wants to open back up next month.
Man, okay. I think that's terrifying, but from a selfish standpoint, and I can't even visit the States anyway because it's 100% illegal for me to go. But I would love one day to go back to Disneyland. I can't.
Can
wait.
we do? Okay, you know what? And real quick, so Michael's like,
excited. I want to go.
Open in London. Oh, and Brianna's in the room. What's up, Brianna? No, I interviewed her a few months back, like last year, I think, right, Brianna?
Hey.
She says, hey, she performed at the 2015 one. Yeah.
I remember.
We're going on 10 years, ladies. Can you believe that? So here's the thing. This is what I'm going to tell you, because all the juju in the world that NAMM and She Rocks will be in person 2022. That's our 10-year anniversary. Let's plan a Disneyland date.
Yes.
I will do it with you. I will do what I have to do to be able to. Yes.
Let's go on all the rides.
Third sister. I have to
the roller coaster and Space Mountain and all the rides. Let's do it.
Yes. And we'll bring our wands and we'll do. Oh, well, that's actually Universal. Never mind. We do have to do the Cars ride at California Adventure, but yes, I say we do it.
Oh, and the Big Bear Mountain.
And the Big Bear Mountain. You're so cute.
We were making a pack the actual gears and wear them. Like every time I never did it. I'm like, why didn't I go all out with the Mickey merch? I should have just worn the ears.
I don't know. But this is the thing. But check out these accommodations though. They're going to open at like 20% capacity, I think. Ooh. Only people from California right now can go. Here's a weird rule. No yelling on the rides. I don't know how is everyone just going to have like a red ball in their mouth with a strap? Like, I don't know how you're going to not scream on a roller coaster. I mean, I guess everyone will have masks. They don't want it flaying. So maybe people will wear masks on the rides, and they're going to have Disney masks. Maybe they'll have one connected to the ears and it comes down.
Ooh.
Like Mickey, right?
Yeah.
They're going to do it. They're going to totally do it.
Selling, like, Disney merch is more intense than any merch out there. So they're going to have Disney masks. They're going to be selling them all over. Yeah.
And they will have this little button you press and they light up. like the
What about
parade.
all the light up masks? That's a good idea. I like that.
How come Command Sisters doesn't have light up masks on their merch? You need to get on
You know
that.
what? Like Myki steals all the good ideas.
I'm not making anything. You do. Now, actually, and I am going to do, I got to hit up my fashion consultant because I'm doing so much now that I've put my own personal podcast on hold, The Bad Filipino, because I've just have no bandwidth, right? Between working overtime with the women and then getting the radio gig, I've just been like, but I wanted to get shirts and I already had designed ideas and stuff last year when I first launched my Bad Filipino podcast. And so I will make sure to get you shirts for that. I think I want to do like a trial run of it, like 7 or 8 or something, but I don't think I'll do masks because I'm a bad Filipino. I don't think I'll do masks. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something with really funny Filipino sayings or aloha. Like, I don't know. I'll find something.
I'll figure it out. I would love
that. I got to do fun merch. But the thing is I'm going to sell merch on it. And I haven't been doing any episodes. But in all fairness, I did like 22 live episodes in a row. I was so tired. So I have all of these sitting in my waiting to be uploaded as audio. I just need to do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But I won't sell your ideas. I really think the Command Sisters should do light up masks.
Thank you.
The lips.
It's on my list. I'm absolutely going to make that happen. Like 100%.
I'm going to get to that.
Mm-hmm. I like it. That would be a good one.
Ooh, yes.
With light up, rhinestones, bedazzle the shiznit out of that. Wait, okay. So so besides Rain on My Prayer, what were the other songs? I'm so bad. I should have this down. I did not prep for this.
No, it's okay.
List your songs.
There's I Can Do What I Want To. I Like It. And then
I can do what I want to.
Yeah.
Do what I want to. We know your songs.
You know it. What's that?
So really definitely.
Then we released Lonely Lullaby, which is great.
That was good.
Then we after that we released a song called Feel Good, which was kind of an unexpected release. And then we released a Christmas song. So that one was really cool.
I loved that one. I wish I didn't wait too long. I wanted to push for one of the stations here in Sacramento to play it, and I waited too long.
That's okay.
Yeah, because that was a perfect Christmas song.
There's always this Christmas. You bring it back. Bring it back.
Okay, I will bring it. But now that I'm there, maybe it'll play on my show. What?
Hey.
I'll have you call into the studio and do my podcast on my show. What?
Yes.
I know, right? All right. So then, not that I want this to end, but we're getting ready to wrap up. It's been almost 40 minutes. I miss you ladies so much. And we're going to hug. I haven't told
5%. So I'm like really hoping it doesn't die. I'm like, let's hope this 5%. Like,
bam. Then we better wrap this up because I haven't told Laura or Bonnie yet, but I really want to order big bean bags that in the green room that we all can just sit and cuddle and just have a moment. Like we're gonna get together before all the pandemonium happens backstage, and we're all just gonna cuddle and just let it. Try not to cry because maybe it'll be before we get our Mac on, but when we'll just like love on each other because I miss y'all so much, especially you two because you weren't there last year.
Aw, no, that's really sweet. I know it was sad, but definitely it's gonna happen in the future. If things are gonna happen, we're gonna get there.
So as we wrap this up, what do the Command Sisters have in store for the rest of 2021 that we can expect from you?
Yeah, like we've just been really trying to like push forward and release stuff regardless of, the current state of the industry. Because, it's what else are we going to do, right, during this time? So like we are excited, like we're working on releasing the rest of our EP. And then we're also working on our second album right now. So we've just been like full on like writing mode, working mode.
What?
And trying to stay positive, like trying to find different ways to reach people. I mean, there's like all these different like platforms right now between like TikTok and Clubhouse and like, putting out music in a different way. It's very DIY right now. And there is some pressure with that. But at the same time, it's kind of fun. Like we're able to like do stuff that we probably would have never thought that we could do before.
Exactly.
That to me is exciting.
I've heard that from too many of musicians, which I think is great. When it's a fight or flight, when your back is against the wall, creativity just came out of nowhere. And it was that desire and that need to create and to keep going.
Absolutely.
And I think you ladies definitely embodied that. I think you definitely you stayed on top of it. You stayed ahead of the curve. I follow your IGs like crazy, and even when you took a break, it still didn't seem like you took a break. You were on it. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. We've kept it going, definitely. And I feel like, you know, in times like these that are crazy and weird, you realize how much you love something and the reasons that you were doing it, and just you find at least for us, you know, we really found our passion again. And like and yeah, it's not like if you can't perform out for live crowds, you still love creating the music, and in the end then you're gonna keep going and you're gonna keep doing it. So yeah, that was really important for us to kind of discover that. And yeah, I know a lot of people probably feel the same way.
I know you ladies are just growing too fast for me, by the way. You're like my little sisters, but you're grown women.
No!
You're like, oh, you know what? Before we end this, we are getting we're getting a tattoo together.
Yes.
Yes. In Disneyland.
Yes. We'll get Disneyland. No, we're not going to get Disneyland tattoos.
And we'll go on a ride. Okay, I am ready for this experience.
Disney tattoos, Disneyland.
Okay, we're doing it. Ladies, Sarah, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining me here on the Women's International Music Network, live front and center. And to remind everybody, you see the website below, WiMN.com. We do have an event coming up. I wanted to plug this because Laura's on the panel. Strong Women of Music is happening on the 25th. So like in 3 more days. And it's live. Go to our website. It's going to go live. She's on a panel with Shelly Pinkin, with Freda Payne, with Lisa Loeb. It's going to be dope. Strong women in music, because that's what we do here at the Women's International Music Network. I want to thank everybody for joining, and please have a safe, wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.